Hey, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbe with Believe in the Run.
And you're watching Between Two Shoes. And we haven't done one of these in a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a while, but you know, I thought we have two shoes that people were wondering what's going on here, a little comparison.
I think we have two really good marathon shoes that were kind of like, it's just a hair between them of like what's gonna tip you over the edge, go for one or the other.
Yeah, let's get into it. What do we got here?
All right, so I am holding the Nike Vaporfly Next 3.
And I'm holding the Hoka Rocket X2.
Disclaimer, we love both these shoes. These are really, right now, of the shoes that we've gotten in 2023, these are probably my two favorites sitting on this table.
Yeah, and I probably have to agree with you on that. So, but I think there are some differences between these that's gonna
Make a difference.
It's gonna make a difference.
Differences that will make difference
when you're choosing a race day shoe. So, what do we got with the Vaporfly that's maybe new and different?
All right, so the update isn't like revolutionary, but what it does is it really brings the shoe back to me. I did not really love the Next 2. It just didn't feel like that bounce I was getting from the Zoom. And I think that all came down to the way that the rubber was applied to the toe in that shoe, where it had a full coverage of kind of thicker rubber. They really thinned that out, and they even added in some holes that kind of give it even more flex. So what happens with that is you can feel the Zoom X more. You get a little more pop and bounce. It just feels a little more energetic off the toe. That and this new upper, I really like what they did. I've always said that the heel collar, or the collar around the heel here, was a little bit sloppy and puckered. They've really dialed that in, and it even has asymmetrical sides, so it dips a little bit under the ankle here and a little bit higher up on the inside of your foot. You just really dial in that foot feel. You've got the split tongue that goes over your ankle. The fit has really improved. It's one of the lightest marathon shoes out there. For my size 10.5, I think it's around 7.4 ounces or
It's actually 7.2.
7.2 ounces, even lighter than I thought. How many grams is that, do you know?
I don't, so
you'll have to do your own.
Don't throw the Euro stuff at me on the fly. Speaking of fly, the shoe does fly. The upper is, like you said, crazy breathable. I mean, it's almost like a track spike upper. I don't know if you can get a more breathable upper in a race day shoe. And then the other shoe we got here is the Hoka Rocket X2. Now, you said the Vaporfly wasn't a substantial update from the second version. Now, this is a complete overhaul, whatever. Let's be honest, Hoka didn't really have a real racing shoe before this.
They did not. This is the first Hoka racing shoe.
Yeah.
It's got Peba foam finally.
It does, and thankfully, I mean, it only took like 5 years for them to get to the table, but here we are, and they have a seat at the table for sure with this one. We love this shoe, and the review that we already posted about it. The whole thing is a whole new update. It's not even comparable to the other version. Midsole is a 40-35 drop. Now, there was some confusion because some specs said 36-31. Hoka was not measuring insole and outsole at one point, so going forward they are, so it's 40-35.
And it does make sense because it's a glued-in insole, and the outsole is not going anywhere, so the measurement of the shoe is there. So 5mm drop, Robbie. But it's more of a rocker.
Yeah, so this is with a carbon plate here, and the rocker geometry of the shoe, this thing really rolls through your stride. That's something I loved about the shoe. That's my kind of favorite feeling in the shoe. I love it in the Saucony Endorphin series. This, I feel like, is maybe one of the best rockered shoes, all-encompassing.
Yeah, I mean, you like the Max Road from Skechers. It was a rocker.
Yeah.
You really do enjoy that rocker shape. I like the rocker shape too. I think that what makes this shoe really great though is the foam and the way the plate and the outsole work together. When we were doing some faster repeats on the road, and it just, I felt like this shoe had a nice glide to it, which is what I think you're referring to.
Exactly, it just rolls through the stride really effortlessly. Thomas, this is between two shoes, so we gotta compare it for your likings. What are you thinking?
Okay, I'm gonna give it, it's kind of leaning towards, these shoes are so similar in how much I like them, it's gonna come down to a little nuance. I'm gonna say I feel like the upper, which I never thought I'd ever say about a Vaporfly, between the upper and the fit and the airiness of it, and the weight of the shoe, it coming in almost an ounce. We didn't say the weight of the
Yeah, so this is 8.2, 8.3 ounces, so it's about an ounce lighter.
So an ounce lighter for this shoe, which I really do think over 26 miles makes a difference. So that's every time you're lifting your foot, that extra ounce. You add it up over how many steps you take in a marathon. I think it does add to the fatigue. I love the way that the Zoom X feels now. I love the way that this rubber kind of makes the shoe feel a little less slappy in the front and gives you a little more bounce off the toe. Plus, I gotta say, I'm feeling this pink and orange.
I mean, it does look good for sure. I feel like I'm a little bit on the other side of the fence personally. I wasn't sure, so I took the Rocket X2 out for some speed work today. I mean, right off the bat, I knew I was gonna probably go with the Rocket X2. I just love, there is something about this shoe, that stack of Peba foam mixed with the rocker and the carbon plate, that I just love the sensation of it. It feels so effortless. It is heavier and maybe a little bit noticeable, and you're right, maybe in later marathon miles it could become more of an issue, but I feel like the way that it rolls through the stride makes up for that. So even if you are a little bit more tired, it flows so smoothly that for me personally, I think I'm going with the Rocket X2.
Yeah, and I don't know if we mentioned the stack on this one, which is 40-32 for an 8mm drop. So yeah, it's not a rocker, it's more of a traditional drop. This one with the rocker Robbe's talking about, that is gonna play into your decision. I really love this Hoka shoe. It's tough to say it, but I think, you know, for those reasons I mentioned, I would go with this Nike, but I can totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to mention I forgot was that you do, because of I like the wider platform on the Rocket X2. It gives you more stability. I feel like the Vaporfly is more of a dart. This can just cruise and roll at faster paces. And
the throat is substantially thinner on the Vaporfly. Sure. You've run behind me and you've seen that my heel doesn't really touch the ground that much.
Yeah, there's just like no wear back here.
So for me, running up on my toes or midfoot to toes, I don't see because the wideness here, but I totally get it if you're talking about stability in this shoe. You can see it's a lot wider.
Yeah, and I did like that. I feel like this is just more of a dart. It's just like but I get what you're saying. Like it does have a great sensation. It's so light on the foot, you don't even realize it's there almost. I think even for maybe shorter distances, like under a half marathon, I totally get this. Obviously can go to the marathon as well.
I would not doubt if this is the shoe that we're gonna see on Kipchoge in Boston when we go up there. I just think they're really dialing this in. It doesn't seem like a big update versus the two, but it really is.
Yeah, and the other thing maybe I wanted to talk about real quick is I also preferred the fit of the upper on this. Now it's not gonna be as breathable for sure as a Vaporfly.
It's not that far up though.
But yeah, I mean, it's really a lightweight kind of mesh here, but I like the internal wrap on the Hoka. I felt like I could get a little bit of a better lockdown, personally. So I think it's just gonna come down to a personal preference.
Yeah, so this is kind of an in-between two shoes. It's kind of a tie. You can see the difference in preference between what we value more. So I value that if I'm getting down to race day, I want that lightweight feel and that airy upper that fits a narrow foot. Robbie's saying for him, it's the rocker.
I love the rocker, that just smooth rolling sensation. I don't know, you're gonna have to come to your own conclusion, I guess. It's not definitive between two shoes. I mean, let's be honest, at this point we're making
hairs.
$250 racing shoes that have the top of the line premium details. You really can't go wrong. Anything else we need to add?
No, I will tell you though, like if I lined up and I packed both these shoes in my bag to go up for the marathon and somehow the Nike fell out and I had the Hoka, I'd be happy. I'd just be like, all right, great.
Yeah.
That'll work, and vice versa.
All right, cool. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave it below.